Hi everyone, Coach Sullivan here again with MGS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and to non-subscribers, I really hope you do. I just completed my 38th year coaching football as a defensive coordinator, but over that span, I've also been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. In this presentation, I want to talk to you about what we call in our 3-4, shark concept. It's an RPO pressure, and this is an introduction to what the shark concept is. Okay? So over here, key terms, and then I'm just going to visually explain the terms without diagramming or getting into any aspects whatsoever of a shark itself. Okay? Because remember, this is just an introduction to the concept. So, first key term is shark. This is safety, right? S, shark. So whoever has a signboard, we point to the shark, or I just go like that. Okay, there it is. Shark is the front, the concept of the blitz, as well as the coverage, all in the one word, shark. Okay? So it's a safety, what we call a read plug blitz. Read plug, which means B to A gap. So he starts in B gap, and then depending on the blocking scheme, it could be B to A. Okay? Again, remember, it's just an introduction. So that is how we get +1 into the box. Okay, so this is done out of our base package rules, which means, right, non-subscribers push the button, but I'll give this to you. 2 high safeties, which means minimum box numbers, so this is how we get a +1 into the box. All right, so the second thing here is this is a 4-man pressure with +2 static defenders. Okay, so I'll give you the ins and outs of what that means, again, without illustrating anything specific about the shark concept itself, all right? So the third term here is we have 2 quarterback defenders, the defensive end and inside linebacker, and we have 2 static defenders, an inside and outside linebacker, okay? And then number 5, when it's versus an offset halfback, which I have up top, the lucky Ringo is to the halfback, so we blitz the back. All right, I'm a big believer in blitzing the back, philosophically. So if the offense is going to offset the back, you just made our job a heck of a lot easier when it comes to figuring out tendencies. So we're going to blitz the back, okay? So then, if number 6, that makes you want to run more pistol, no problem. Now, everything we do when it comes to the shark concept is based on the offensive tendencies, which is harder. Okay? And so the way it affects us is because it ties in with our personnel alignment rules. Okay? Like 11 personnel alignment rules are slightly different than 10 personnel alignment rules. 10 and 20 are the same, 11, 21 the same. Okay? So therefore, A here, when it's pistol, bull, which is a type of shark, the lucky Ringo is to the backer. Okay, and I'll show you how that plays out down here in a second because I have it in pistol in the bottom. And Mako, which is another kind of shark, the lucky Ringo's to the mic. Okay, and again, that ties in with our personnel alignment rules. And so the last term here is shark is good versus zone, power read, both zone and power read, as well as the RPO that's connected with both. Right? Hence shark concept, RPO pressure introduction. So it's middle of the field, which is important. So non-subscribers, why that's important, I have to push the button. Okay? So I have shark, because remember, this is the front, the blitz, and the coverage, all wrapped up into one. Okay, so this is great versus an up-tempo zone read, power read, RPO offense as well. Okay? So up top here, excuse me, I have the offset back. Okay, so running back here, east. So what's meant by this? 11 gun Dallas 2. We only use that in our huddle formation column. So if the players see 2, that means the halfback is offset to the tight end. See, it's offensive personnel specific. Excuse me. But when they come out, if the back's on the right, the back's on the right. They're going to say east. Okay. If the back are on the left, they're going to say west. Again, the 2 is for our huddle formation column, but I just want to explain that. All right. So conceptually, the concept of shark, right? Shark. We have, remember, 2 QB defenders. DN and static equals read the mesh, which I'll give you that in a second, okay? It's going to be orbit, whether number 2 is removed or not, because that ties in with the concept that we have. If a safety's blitzing, the safeties are going to spin. They're going to replace each other, which means, right, it has to be orbit. Not subscribers. Okay? So in this case, since we versus offset, we lucky Ringo to the halfback, it's east. So this safety says Ringo, Ringo, Ringo. He becomes the shark. Right? The safety executing the read plug, B to A. Okay, so I'm not getting into all that in terms of the timing. And no. You're going to have to see other presentations in this playlist. This is just the introduction. So he becomes the shark. He therefore becomes the +1 to the box. Okay? So what I'll mention here is static technique. First of all, it's built in. It's an automatic. Anytime there's an offset back, whether there's a shark called or not, the inside linebacker is screaming static, static, static. It's part of our cycle 2 drills all through spring, preseason, in season. So it's day 2 in season, 5-minute static drill. We just work on it all the time. He just sits there at his play side back foot. He's sitting real hot as he reads the mesh. Remember, he's at 4 yards. There's a lot going on up there. There shouldn't be any offensive linemen that get up to him. And so he reads the mesh. And if, excuse me, the quarterback doesn't have it, when the back finishes, he fits in, or what we call falls back to the dive. If the quarterback does have it, he becomes an extra quarterback defender, right? 2 QB defenders, D-end, inside linebacker. D-end, inside linebacker. But for the inside linebacker, that's determined by the mesh, the quarterback himself. Okay? So that's how it works in terms of who becomes the shark when the back is offset. These are your 2 quarterback defenders. Again, I'm not getting into any of the other specifics. But what I would like to do is give you an example of how when an offense is in pistol, based upon the tendencies that we've seen develop, how we would call, in this particular case, bull. Okay? So shark versus 11. Let's just say the tendencies were anytime they were in pistol, they ran some kind of either power, or it's not likely to be power out of the pistol, but they can run zone read out of it, but they run it over here to the twins because it's better for the RPO game. Okay? Therefore, our game plan would be versus 11 personnel pistol. When we call shark, we want it to be a bull, 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 bull. Remember, this ties in with our personnel alignment rules. The backer aligns away from the tight end. That's what makes it the bull. Okay? And so in this case, it happens to be the pass strike. So it would be the free. Non-subscribers push the button, but if this were Texas pistol, okay, and we still said we wanted to make it a bull, this would be the whip. So it doesn't necessarily matter which safety it is, okay? We've designated versus pistol 11 personnel, we want to execute it opposite the tight end. And that would make it a bull. Okay? That's what it would mean. So now he is the static. He is the shark, which means he's +1. So now he is the quarterback. So there's your two quarterbacks. Okay? And then we talked about two static defenders. Okay? Outside linebacker here. Static. Outside linebacker here. Static. He's still going to knock back and react to the tight end's block, but at the end of the day, he'll be static read for that quarterback. Okay? So again, to recap. Shark, one call. Front, stunt, coverage. Shark, it's the safety who's read plugging, B to A, so he's inside. Okay? We have a four-man pressure with two static defenders. We always have two quarterback, two static defenders. If you offset the back, we're going to blitz the back. If you're in pistol, we're going to base it upon the tendencies going into a game. And if those tendencies change, you have the ability to make the adjustments so we're executing the shark to the side we want to execute it to, meaning to the side you're attacking, right? So again, good versus both zone and power read. And that's why we would call a shark. It's a different way for us, to take it to the offense, take away what they believe is their advantage in this, putting us on the defense, having to react. Instead, by being aggressive, smartly, we're putting the offense on the defensive, and now they have to react to us. So as I said at the beginning, to my subscribers, I thank you. Non-subscribers, I hope I've teased you into it. Sorry, a little premature there. To everybody, please reach out to me at coachmjsullivan@gmail.com. I thank YouTube for this platform, so please, let's make the most of it.